Hey there, this is Rad Eater, and this kind of concludes the progression practice for a real league for me. You might have saw there, if you were familiar, put in the first Blight Ravaged map we dropped twice there, and we're going to complete it with basically no gear. I just swapped to EA Ballista, and not the gems aren't even maxed out. Gear is pretty floppy, not a very strong character. The point of that is, I mean, you can see the mods. It's a fully rolled map. Point is that you can do Blight Ravaged early, like based entirely on strategy. I also have no ring anoints to empower the towers. This is just base power for everything. At this point in the progression, if you were like a serious Blight only TFT user, you just start buying maps and doing Blight. I'm probably going to end up doing something a little different where I sustain them through in-map blighting. Just I like to assume that that'll be the case depending on sorry, depending on the mechanic that we get with the league. I know that sounds crazy because we haven't had a league in a year. Um, but if the mechanic sucks, or if it doesn't help much, or if it's not really related to mapping, anyways, at this point you can just start buying blighted maps. I'm like level 88, real dog water gear, using like a unique bow with 3 sockets in it. I do have the 6 link that I had from the last build, but that's about it. The towers are going to do the heavy lifting here, and quickly cover strategy for doing bladed maps for people that want to get into it. You can see the row of circles and rewards at the bottoms. Um, the icon that it displays is what that lane of mobs are resistant to, and you'll notice I'm spamming scout towers. Scout towers in general are very strong for single target, so they'll handle the high health bosses of the Ravaged map pretty well. But also, nothing is resistant to summoning towers. So it's a safe bet that these are going to do full damage to every enemy that's spawned. So you can see me just really abusing that. And that's something you'll want to look at every map you do. Uh, if there's something resistant to everything, like if you don't have like an obviously solvable map, then you'll just have to end up building a blend. I'm not sure if I did build a CC setup earlier. I forgot to cover it, but your basic choke point DC tower setup is going to be a frost tower and a stun tower. Don't upgrade them past level 3, and then you can put an empower tower right next to it. And that's kind of the basis for all setups in Blight is the freeze, stun, empower. Those are your basics, and then the damage towers are based on what is resistant. Scout towers are really strong on single target. Meteor towers do alright as well. Once you get anoints, it gets even easier because even when towers are immune to frost, the anoint still allows the frost tower to stun them for 0.2 seconds. And even if they're immune to fire, the burning ground on the meteor, the resistance doesn't affect the burning ground. It only affects the meteor direct damage. So it gets even easier to solve once you have extra oils to do your ring anoint. You can find those on PoE Wiki. There's a list of all of them, and there's a list of what oils require. You can just Control F for freeze, search the website, Control F meteor, if those are the ones you're interested in. I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to enchant scout towers, because their damage is pretty crazy. Their base damage is super high. They help out a lot. If you're gonna do in-map blighting, I actually would recommend you do a scout tower ring enchant, because they like kind of carry for the boss lane that we have now, especially early if you're doing like Cassia's Pride. Um, they kind of fix it for you, for lack of a better term. Uh, but yeah, this is a proof of concept and the end of the road of the practice run. I'm at the end game. This is a Blight Ravaged map. We're gonna complete it. Get some money. You can just buy T13 to T16 Blight maps or T13 to T16 Blight Ravaged maps. Farm them at this point. Don't need the gear. As long as you follow the CC basic, you can see me standing in front of it. It makes it stand still for a second, so it slows down. If you're cool with your micro, you can actually get it to start an attack animation and then dodge it and then go back in. But I was kind of just tanking it there. You can hear me in the video. I think I just laid down in my chair. That's how easy it is. This is my favorite mechanic by far in this game. It's super chill. It doesn't take a lot of mental energy. Yeah, literally to make a point, I think I laid down in my chair and stopped playing the video for the rest of them. Because we're set up and we're pretty safe. Yeah, we'll skip ahead here. Yeah, you can see the moment that we won. Yeah, you can see we succeeded. And this is a super weak character. Super weak character. I don't even have enough skill points for the chest open spell meme. But if this is something you're interested in, this is going to be my league start strategy for the next league, and I'll get... leading up to it, I'll get into more detail regarding exactly how I'm going to get there. But the rough idea is just to start blighting as soon as it's profitable. If you want to start Blight as early as possible, another Blight Ravaged map. If you want to start as... Oh, jeez. Shut up, me, dude. Come on. Talking here. If you want to start as early as possible, I wouldn't step into a Blight map that's lower than like T8. If you just want like raw currency and stuff to help get your build going. I just focus on Atlas progression for at least the first respec tree. And if you want to go real fast, probably even for the second Atlas tree that you get, focus that more so on just progressing quickly through the Atlas. Because if you're going to do self-sustain in map blighting, you will still want your void stones. And if you don't want to do in-map blighting and you just want to buy maps on TFT, if you're that kind of guy, then I guess it doesn't matter. You can start way earlier. I'm already rolling the next Blight Rabbit. Alright. But yeah, that was just a quick aside, quick explanation. That was a fun little season to play. I'm not super concerned about getting chase items or finishing a real build. I just want to get my league start solid. I'm not super great at PoE. A lot better at last epoch, but there it is. If you want to follow my kind of strategy, it's very easy and very simple. I'm a dumb guy, and I found a way to get away with being a dumb guy in PoE and still being ahead of the pack for the most part. So if you want to see some more stuff like that, if you want to get into blighting next league, if you want to get into not crafting items, if you want to get into not selling items, or the easiest items to sell to make enough money to build a character, stuff like that, give it a subscribe, leave a comment, and have a great day.